Hi, this is Keith. I'm in the boundary waters of Minnesota on Buck Lake. This isn't a local adventure for me, but it's a trip that I've been taking with a few friends for many years. If you're an experienced camper, this video may not be for you, but if you're curious what a designated wilderness area is like, it might be interesting. The boundary waters in Minnesota used to be a mountain, eroded down by time, then pushed back up by volcanic activity, and then scoured over by glaciers and broken up into giant boulders. Planning a trip can be almost as much work as the trip itself. Starting out, looking at maps, what entry point, once we pick the entry point, how many lakes, how many portages, how long are the portages, when are the portages? Can we plan a heavier meal for the day one, day two, save the lighter meals for later? So maps are very important. Experts like John at Voyager North. He's given us a lot of advice over the years. He knows the area, a wonderful resource. Always check with your outfitter. I got a new book this year, Recipes for Adventure, Glenn McAllister. A couple ideas I use to save weight. One, of course, is a pot cozy. You all know about those. Another is I use the pot cozy as a cooler. We dehydrate everything. See, I got some peppers in here, I got some cherry tomatoes, some jalapenos, dehydrating right now. But it's nice to take a little fresh meat if you like that sort of thing. So what I do is I'll put the meat in a Ziploc bag and then I'll mush it all inside the cooking pot. See, 3 steaks fit right in that pot. Smushed in there, and it's going to go in the freezer. I use foil baking cups, and this is a cornbread mix mixed with powdered egg whites, powdered milk, and cornmeal, flour, and mix this up, put it in foil baking cups. Set it next to the fire on a log, turn it as the fire heats it up, and you can bake some muffins. Very easy, very lightweight. For packing meals, I prefer Ziploc bags. I used to seal everything up and seal a meal, which works great, but it doesn't allow you to change anything if you have a last minute addition. Maybe somebody drops out of the trip. I've had to open them up, and then they don't do much good at all once they're open. So Ziplocs you can open and close, and I reuse them year after year. In fact, you can see, I labeled this is a breakfast. I don't know how many years I've been using this bag, but I bring them home, I wash them out. Drinks are always a challenge in the boundary waters, so you can't bring cans or bottles, but they do put some wine in these nice cardboard boxes.
Yippee-yi-yay! Yippee-yi-yo!
I know you can't see it, but there's a bald eagle sitting on a tree bench right over there. I just came across our second portage for the day. A portage is a path between lakes. You can paddle across the lakes, of course, but you need to walk in between them. A portage will go up and over hills, through wetlands, marshy areas, and you just carry your stuff from one lake to the other. Sometimes it's hard to see the path. If it's real muddy, sometimes there's boards to walk on, if you're lucky. Lots of large rocks. That's easy going. This is a portage pack. In this backpack is everything you need to survive in the wilderness. Your food, your shelter, sleeping bag, extra clothes, dry clothes for today. And those milk jugs are to help filter water from the lakes to drink. Sometimes nature gives you a place to put down the canoe. Not too many people have ever been here. I'll show you parts of our camp and show you how we organize it so we know where things are. Boundary Waters tends to be a little hilly, lots of rocks. This campsite has a couple different levels. First off, when you're in the wilderness, you'll know the campsites because they have this U.S. Forest Service fire grate. If it doesn't have this grate, you're not supposed to camp there. To whoever camped here last, thank you for that nice pile of firewood. Commonly, many of the Boundary Water campsites have these logs set up so you can sit and enjoy your fire. There's always a path leading from the campsite. It'll take you to the toilet. Some people call it the thunderbox. One way to organize is to keep things together. This is our little camp kitchen, bathroom setup. Has some things we need for cooking and taking care of ourselves. And it's hung on our laundry line. The laundry line gives us a place to dry things. We had pretty much everything we had on this line earlier because it had been raining for the first few days. This is our food bags. The yellow bag has all our meals, and the red bag has all the cooking equipment like the stove and any extra food. They're hung on a rope so that we can pull them into the air to keep them away from raccoons and squirrels and bears. Water is important when you're out in the wilderness. Got to stay hydrated. These lakes are very, very clean, and when I was a kid, we used to drink right out of them. But today we have such great water filters, it makes sense. So what we do is we'll bring a couple of plastic milk jugs. These are easy to fill up when you're in the middle of the lake where the water is cleaner. Pour them into the top bag for dirty water. It runs through a filter here and collects in this reservoir. When you're ready to use water, open the valve and the clean water comes out. Staying warm and comfortable at night is important. There's a couple ways to do it. This is a hammock under a tarp. It allows you to stay off the ground and keep the rain off you. Here's a tent. This is a nice way for a couple people to sleep. You've got a fly to keep the rain off and screens to keep the bugs out.